Hi YouTube friends and family. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel, Tell Me Now TV. Let's talk about Mr. Steve Harvey getting let go from 2 shows and why it might have happened. For months, we've known that Steve Harvey was losing his talk show. Kelly Clarkson is going to slip into the time slot starting this September. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to why. Some said it started its decline after he abruptly left Chicago and left all of the staff of the Steve Harvey show high and dry and came to Los Angeles, where he revamped the show and he renamed it Steve. Some said the decline started after Steve was seen with presidential candidate Donald Trump at Trump Towers. Now, the fact is, the show's ratings were high. Steve was the 5th highest paid TV host in 2018. Just recently, we were all blindsided, including Steve, that he lost his hosting gig for the popular show Little Big Shots. So comedian Melissa McCarthy is slated to take over the hosting gig when the show returns in the fall. Paul Telegdi, co-chair of NBC Entertainment, said Melissa is just an incredible performer and incredible comedian. Well, guess what, NBC? So is Steve. He won a Daytime Emmy nomination for the show in 2016. And did you know Steve Harvey is co-creator of Little Big Shots along with Ellen DeGeneres? Hopefully that means he'll still get some sort of check from the show. But I'm sure Steve's invested his money wisely over the years, so he's not going to be homeless again. But no matter how you cut it, it's got to hurt losing 2 jobs back to back. So far, he's still holding on to his radio show in most markets, and he still has Family Feud. There's a lot of people out there who are relishing in this loss of income that Steve is going through, and I get it to a certain degree. Steve has said and done some problematic stuff over the years that I won't get into now, but all of us have done some foul mess in our lifetime. It's just that most people don't see it because we're not in the public eye. I don't stand with those laughing at this situation. I just see a black person after black person getting cut off at their knees and sometimes neck, just as their money and influence is getting to a level where it starts to mess with white folks' money. Now, I do find it ironic that this is happening to Steve after that very public disagreement with Monique. Remember, Monique said she was not willing to toe the line, so the establishment screwed her. Steve was willing to toe the line, and the establishment screwed him anyway. Take a listen to this.
And what happens is when you allow people to start taking your freedom and your gift and making it become what makes them comfortable, we then lose. When you called me with the morning show on the phone, I said to you, Steve, my family is suffering behind this. And y'all know I did nothing wrong. Y'all know my husband did nothing wrong. But none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus.
Because Mo, listen to me. We fighting 2 wars here.
What war?
There's 2 wars. It's what your issue is, and it's what the perception of the issue is, and the narrative has changed.
See, I'm hearing what you're saying, baby, and I agree with it when the narrative changes. But if all of y'all said, this is the only issue I have with it, baby, when all of y'all said privately, to include Oprah, all of y'all said privately, I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sidney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing,
we
got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game, but let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. There are ways to win the war in a different way.
Now, let's take a step back and see why this may be happening to Steve right now. And I'm just going to say right here that this is my opinion and my speculation off of everything that I read and everything that I know, plus the sense that the good Lord gave me. So when the Steve Harvey show was in Chicago, it was produced by Endemol Shine North America and NBC Universal. The reason Steve moved from Chicago and renamed his talk show Steve is because another production company, IMG Original Content, courted and wooed him into a new deal. They offered him a big piece of ownership, and that gave him more money and more creative input. So of course he took the deal, and of course NBC was pissed. That was a lot of money that they were losing. So that explains the loss of the talk show. However, NBC also carries Little Big Shots. So I think NBC wants to hurt Steve, so they took him off both shows out of spite. You know, they're acting like little kids in the playground taking their ball and stomping off. The thing is, both shows were popular, and although Kelly Clarkson and Melissa McCarthy are probably very lovely people, I honestly don't think that they're going to bring the ratings that Steve brought. In my opinion, NBC is cutting off their nose in spite of their face, but, you know, time will tell for sure. As for Steve, I think he has a couple of options. One, he's 62 years old. If he invested his money like I hope he did, he can go ahead and retire altogether, or partially retire with just doing Family Feud and the Steve Harvey Morning Show. If he still wants to put in the work, then there are plenty of platforms for him. He can go to another network, he could go to cable, he could go to Facebook like Jada Pinkett Smith did, or he could join us on YouTube. The door's not closed at all to Steve, and frankly, I would love to see him flourish and throw it in NBC's face. Speaking of throwing things in faces, did you all see Monique and Sydney's video about the Steve Harvey plight? I love their response to the situation and agree with it wholeheartedly. I'll include a link for the whole video below, but here's a small snippet. Take a listen to this.
Disagreeing with somebody means that we respect you too much to sit here and pretend like we agree with you, and we really don't.
Yes.
But we love you enough that even though we may have disagreed with you, when we see you get violated or done wrong, then we got to speak to it. Because if we sit back and we laugh at this brother because the show was taken off or the shows were taken off, and his numbers may have been lower than they were, but when you number 4 or 5 on the network, what it's saying to the folks are, in network television, what it's saying to the folks are, and we just laugh at him, your baby, your brother, your sister, somebody out there has some talent in that family. You may be the talent in your family, and you may look like Steve Harvey. You may be a person of color. And what will oftentimes happen is, because what a lot of people don't know is what he was trying to accomplish was groundbreaking. He had ownership in his show with a company called IMG, and it wasn't NBC being able to own it in the way that they normally did it. So it was groundbreaking, and it was as if we can't have as much as we want, you've got to go. So the very message, ever so humbly, that Monique was trying to share with Brother Steve in reference to integrity over money, we asked ourselves, and we used to say, if you ran into you, would you get along with yourself? And if you deal with other people, that money is more important than the integrity of letting you know what they're thinking so that you can leave on good terms, and you run into yourself but you don't like it, sometimes it gives you an opportunity to say, you know what, maybe I need to rethink how I was going about things, but nonetheless, it doesn't mean that you were wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It doesn't mean that we should applaud the failure of it simply because we had a disagreement.
Right. And I think Y'all, that's what we've been so conditioned to do. If we disagree, it's over. It's done. We disagree and we walk away. And again, with Steve Harvey, as I've considered that man my brother for 25 plus years, I'm not going to back down now. Even though I disagree, we disagree with the way that brother handled it. We disagree with the way that Lee Daniels handled it. Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, we disagree. Will Packer, we disagree with the way they handle it. But if they're still being done wrong, we don't then say that's what they get.
Because that's what they get will one day be what you get. It'll be one day what your family gets, because they know a precedent has been set that the Black community won't stand behind others when they've seen them done wrong, because you only have a small margin of error when you are a person of color before people will turn their back on you.
I know Steve Harvey is a divisive personality based off of some of his comments, even some of his recent comments, and the alleged actions he's taken against his previous wives. So I want to know what you think. Is this the chickens coming to roost? Is it karma in all her glory? Is it a case of you get what you deserve? Or is it another example of a Black power player getting their neck stepped on when they try to take control over their own talent and creativity? Remember, Tyler Perry had to create his empire totally outside of Hollywood because he didn't want to bend to the Hollywood heads. Even after he built himself up, Hollywood shunned him for a very long time. To me, it goes back to what Mo said. You have to play their game the way they want you to play it, or you're out. Tell me what you think. Drop down in the comments and let me know. Before you go, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I've uploaded a new video. Until next time, take care. Bye.